All right, ready for a deep dive today? We're jumping right into the world of Indian fintech,
Oh, yeah.
specifically Jio Financial Services, and their first quarterly report ever.
It's a big one.
It is a big one, and, quarterly reports, maybe not the most exciting thing for everyone listening,
Right.
but trust me on this. This report is fascinating.
Really interesting.
It is. It's a page turner. This company, they're making some huge moves.
Yeah, and what's interesting is it's not like they're just testing the waters.
Right.
They are diving right in. This report,
Full cannonball.
it really is a cannonball. It shows you everything, how they're going to revolutionize finance in India.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember, just for context for everyone, this report covers April to June of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So this is before they even officially became Jio Financial Services, right?
Right. Still Reliance Strategic Investments Limited at that point.
Exactly. So this is like a sneak peek behind the curtain before the big reveal.
Before the name change, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're getting their playbook right as they step onto the field.
I like that.
And one of the biggest plays, this brand new Geo Finance app,
Right out of the gate.
instantly. What's amazing is it's still in beta.
It's still in beta, over 500,000 downloads, 4.5-star rating. That's got to tell you something, right?
It's huge.
People want this. They want financial tools. They want them to be easy to use, easy to access.
And that's what they're doing. But it's not just the app, though.
Yeah.
And this is where I kind of need you to walk me through it a little bit, because the report mentions this core investment company approval.
Okay. Yeah.
And honestly, I got to be honest with you, I don't totally get it.
Yeah, it's a little jargony.
It's very jargony. So in layman's terms, what does that actually mean?
Okay, so basically imagine a company that can invest in like anything financial, stocks, bonds, other companies.
Okay.
This approval basically gives Jio Financial Services the power to do all of that.
Wow.
It's huge. It gives them so much flexibility.
So they can kind of go wherever they want.
They can put their money where their mouth is, invest in their own ventures, partner with others.
So it's like they're setting up this really strong base as this core investment company.
Exactly.
And then from there, they can just launch all these different things.
It's very strategic.
It is. And speaking of which, there's a section of the report called Business Update, and it's basically just a list of all these different initiatives they're launching, which is really exciting.
It's a lot. And one of the big things you see, the recurring theme, if you will,
Okay.
is this concept of embedded finance. Now, I know that sounds a little technical,
Yeah, it does.
but it's actually very straightforward.
Okay, good.
Think of it like this. Have you noticed that everything's a lease now?
Oh, 100%.
Your phone, your car, you can lease furniture.
Pretty much.
That is embedded finance in action.
Okay.
Making those financial services, you don't even think about it. It's just part of the transaction.
Invisible almost.
Almost invisible, right.
Hmm.
And they talk about that specifically with their air fiber devices in the report.
Okay, yeah.
They're not making you buy this thing outright. They're giving you options.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Right. More affordable for the consumer, steady income for them, win-win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've totally noticed that. I feel like no one buys anything anymore. It's all just a monthly payment for everything.
It's the way of the world, especially for tech gadgets that get outdated so quickly.
That is everything.
Which is everything now, yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense. And that's what they're doing with their whole device as a service, which I think is really smart.
Mm-hmm. Remove those barriers to entry.
Exactly. And on that note, let's talk about their push into the payment space, because this is another big one.
Page, yeah.
Jio Payments Bank, they are trying to reach every corner of India with this, it seems like.
Yeah, they're not messing around. They got approval to set up almost 16,000 business correspondent outlets.
That's incredible.
Think of it like mini bank branches, taking it to the people in rural areas, smaller towns, places where maybe traditional banks aren't really present.
And that's such a game changer for people.
Absolutely don't have
It's
access.
like a potential inclusion.
Exactly. But they're not stopping there. They've also partnered with some really major players in the financial world.
Mm-hmm, big time.
That joint venture with BlackRock, that was huge.
That's a game changer, especially for wealth management in India, right?
Yeah, how so?
Okay, you've got Jio, they've got the reach, they understand the market, they're all about that digital-first approach.
Right.
And then you've got BlackRock, global powerhouse when it comes to investments, managing money.
So they've kind of like combined forces here.
It's like the dream team, right?
Yeah.
They each bring something really special to the table.
And that's really interesting to me because what is it that each of them brings? I mean, we kind of touched on it, but I'm curious to go a little deeper there.
Yeah, let's dive in a little bit.
So BlackRock brings, like you said, the global experience. They know how to handle the
They've
investments.
got the know-how, the strategies, they've seen it all.
And then Gia's got that like on the ground knowledge in India. They know the people, the culture, they know what works.
So it's not just about, like, here's some fancy investment product.
Right.
It's about making that actually make sense to people.
Making it accessible, understandable. Yeah. And that's key.
It feels like they're trying to, I don't know, make it so anyone can do it, anyone can invest.
Democratizing wealth management. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
feels like, I don't know, it feels like they're in it for the long haul, you know?
Absolutely. Building something that lasts.
Not just like a quick buck.
It's about the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about their plans, their vision, but this report isn't just talk.
Right.
There's some really interesting numbers in here.
Oh, yeah, they're putting up the points already.
They are. So let's get into that a little bit, because I think this is where it gets really real.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, I'm going to need some help understanding this.
Okay, sure.
The report talks about their consolidated PAT, and they give this figure, 313 crores for the quarter.
That's the big one.
So for those of us who didn't go to, like, finance school, break that down.
Okay, so PTE, that's profit after tax, basically the bottom line,
Right.
what they actually made after all the expenses and everything.
Got it.
So that 313 crore figure, that means they're already profitable. And this is just the beginning.
Which is pretty impressive.
It's huge, especially considering they were still kind of getting their feet wet during this period.
Yeah, they weren't even officially Jio Financial Services yet.
Exactly. It shows they're on the right track, their strategy is working.
And then to top it all off, they outline these 4 guiding principles, almost like this is how we operate.
It's like their manifesto.
It is reputation, regulation, return of capital, and return on capital.
It's a mouthful, but it's important.
It is. So let's break those down a little bit, because I think they're really interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
So reputation, what does that mean in this context?
It's all about trust, right? Finance, it's a trust game.
Especially these days, there's been so much going on,
Exactly. People are wary. They need to know they can rely on you.
and it feels like Jio gets that.
They're putting it front and center. Ethics, transparency, that's what builds reputation.
It's like they're saying, we're not just here to play games.
We're here for the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then regulation, that kind of goes hand in hand with reputation, right?
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. They're saying, look, we're playing by the rules.
Which is important in finance. It's a very regulated industry.
Absolutely. It shows they're serious. They're not cutting corners.
So those two are pretty straightforward, but return of capital and return on capital, those are a little more, I don't know, financy.
Yeah, a little jargony, but important for building a solid business.
Okay, so explain it like I'm 5.
Okay, return of capital. Imagine you give someone money to invest. You want to make sure you get that money back, right?
Yeah, at least what I put in.
Exactly. That's return of capital, making smart investments, not being reckless.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then return on capital, that's about actually making money on top of what you put in.
So that's the profit.
Exactly. Making sure your money is working for you, growing.
That's something a balancing act.
It is being responsible with the money, but also making it work for you.
Which is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, walking that tightrope.
But how does this all actually impact, the average person?
That's the big question, right? It's more than just like understanding the numbers,
Right.
This report, it's like a crystal ball almost.
Correct.
Showing us what the future of finance could look like in India.
Interesting.
Technology at the forefront, financial services. They're just going to be part of everything we do.
Yeah, it's like embedded into our lives.
Exactly. And I think whether you're like a Wall Street wizard
Right.
or just someone trying to figure out how to, save for a rainy day,
Mm,
this is something you got to be paying attention to.
because it's changing everything.
It is.
It's like the rules are being rewritten right in front of us.
Yeah, and what's exciting is this is just the first chapter.
Beginning, yeah, and who knows where it goes from here.
Right. They've got this bold vision.
They do.
But the real test is, can they pull it off?
Execution is everything.
It is. And that's what we'll be watching.
It's true. So for everyone listening, we're going to leave you with this
All right.
as Jio grows, because it seems like they're going to.
Oh, yeah.
And they're in all these different areas of finance.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean for, the average person?
Yeah, good question.
How does it change things?
Like, think about it. All these digital solutions.
Right.
What happens to the old way of doing things?
in traditional banks.
Exactly. Is this a good thing? Is it bad?
A lot to unpack there.
A lot to think about.
So keep those questions in mind as we, move forward.
Yeah, this is a conversation that's just getting started.
Exactly. The future of finance, it's happening right now. It's complicated,
Yeah.
it's exciting, and it's something we're definitely going to keep diving into.
Right here on the deep dive.
That's right. Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep asking questions.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.